Welcome to our study guide course, People with Disabilities. During this course, I will explain what will be covered and how it will be covered for your examination. You will be able to differentiate between courses of action for peace officers when dealing with a person who appears to be affected by a mental illness and is a danger to others, a danger to self, gravely disabled, or not dangerous or gravely disabled. You will be able to define the term mental illness, the term developmental disability. You will be able to list the types of mobility assistance equipment and devices, the categories of mental illness which include thought disorders including schizophrenia and mood disorders including depression and bipolar. You'll be able to identify methods an officer can use to communicate with the person who is deaf or hard of hearing. You will be able to recognize the role of peace officers when interacting with a person with a disability, general behavioral indicators associated with all developmental disabilities. Behavioral indicators specifically associated with the following developmental disabilities, such as mental retardation, cerebral palsy, autism, or epilepsy. Appropriate peace officer actions during field contacts with people with the following developmental disabilities, such as mental retardation, cerebral palsy, autism, or epilepsy. Behavioral or other indicators that may lead an officer to identify a person as being blind or visually impaired, or deaf or hard of hearing. Appropriate peace officer actions during field contacts with people who are blind or visually impaired, or deaf or hard of hearing. Behavioral indicators that may be generally associated with people affected by mental illness. Indicators officers may use to help determine if a person affected by mental illness is a danger to others, a danger to self, or gravely disabled due to mental illness. Appropriate tactical actions when responding to a call that involves a person with a mental illness. Behavioral indicators that may lead an officer to believe a person with mental illness may be a danger to others or a danger to self. Peace officer actions when a person affected by mental illness does not meet the detention requirements under the Welfare and Institutions Code, Section 5150. This is more than likely all you'll be tested on during this specific written examination. You will be able to state the intent of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, the intent of the Lanterman-Petrus Short Developmental Disability Service Act, which is also covered under Welfare and Institution Code, Sections 4500. You'll be able to explain state and local resources available to people with disabilities, the intent of the Lanterman-Petrus Short Act. You will be able to discuss the types of neurological disorders, including acquired and traumatic. Additional laws that protect the rights of people with disability, including the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, right-of-way, white cane law, and service animals. Selected information from this written examination will also appear on your end-of-course proficiency test.